educators, have you ever wondered when is the best time to take your Social Security? Claiming early might give you peace of mind, but waiting could mean thousands of extra dollars in your bank every month for the rest of your life. So today, we are breaking down the pros and cons so you can make a decision you feel confident about. Teachers, you give so much every day. You're shaping lives and you're inspiring the future. But when it comes to your retirement, the path forward can feel uncertain. If you're an educator juggling demands of busy schedules and financial stress, you are not alone. Many teachers worry about outliving their savings, or managing their pension, or ensuring long-term care without burdening their family. With pensions often alone falling short, many educators struggle to bridge the gap between what they need and what they have for a secure retirement. That's where Educator's Financial Foresight Weekly comes in. Each week, I'll guide you through clear, actionable steps to understand your pension and spot hidden gaps, build retirement income strategy tailored to your needs, protect your savings from inflation and unexpected costs, and plan for long-term care and estate needs without burdening your loved ones. Your career has been about making a difference. Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on YouTube and LinkedIn. Let's build a retirement as rewarding as your career. Well, welcome to this week's episode of Educator's Financial Foresight Weekly, your step-by-step guide to financial peace of mind. I'm your host, former educator and current financial planner, Debbie Major, and I thank you for watching today on LinkedIn or YouTube or by replay. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a week. Well, last week we gave an overview of Social Security, very high-level view of who qualifies, how you qualify, how you kind of a benefit you can expect, and how to sign up for your Social Security account to check your own benefit. Today, we're going to dive deeper into the one question, really, that has the biggest long-term impact. When should I take my Social Security benefit? As we go through this, think about your own goals. If you'd like help deciding what's right for you, you can visit my resource page or drop your questions in the comments below or DM me on LinkedIn. You can also there's a resource that I'm giving away if you stay till the end that will help walk you through. It's made for educators and Social Security. So stay with us as we talk about this important and vital topic. Now, claiming at 62 or claiming at 67 or claiming at 70, 62 to 70 is actually an 8-year window, and the choice can impact your income for life. So many educators have a misconception believing they should take it as early as possible before it runs out or because they need the money now without realizing the trade-offs. So let's look at a real simple whiteboard example of what the trade-off could be. So I brought my whiteboard with me today. All right, so let's say that your full retirement age is at 67, because for a lot of us moving forward, that's what it's going to be. And let's say, for an easy example, that you're going to get $1,000 a month as your primary benefit if you wait until 67. So this is the benefit amount that everything else is calculated off of. If you decide you want to get it at age 62, which is the earliest that you can get it, you're going to be penalized for each year up until 62, and so that's going to end up with a 30% decrease in your benefit, or you're going to get $700 a month for the rest of your life. If you decide that you want to wait until 70, you're going to get bonuses. So what Social Security does is it says, okay, each year that you don't take Social Security between your full retirement age and age 70, we're going to increase it by 8%. So that means 24% for you, and you're going to get $1,250 a month for the rest of your life.
So you're looking at here taking a cut of about $3,600 a year, and this you're going to add about $3,000 a year for the rest of your life. Now, something to keep in mind also is this affects not just your benefit, but also what's called the survivor benefit, and the spousal benefit also. But the more important one is if one of you dies early, whoever spouse dies first, the surviving spouse gets a survivor benefit from Social Security. And it's the higher one of the two Social Security benefits. So for many educators, their Social Security earnings are not the biggest earnings that they've had. Most of their highest earning years are all in the state retirement systems. But their spouses, if they worked in private industry, their Social Security benefit can be $1,000, $1,500 more than what their wives are. If you take that benefit early at 62, and unfortunately you lose your spouse, and he passes away at age 70, they will refigure the survivor benefit as discounted down, because you still will get that discount because you took it early. So it won't be that full benefit that he has. It'll still be adjusted for the fact that you have a reduced benefit. So it is really something you want to think about, because if you, especially in a married couple situation, if one of you can wait until 70, that's great. And that's the other thing. So there's pros and cons to doing all of it, but it's something that we all need to think about before we just go ahead and claim whenever we think we're supposed to be claiming. So what's the solution? Well, let me put my whiteboard back, so I don't need it right now. And let's look at a couple examples, some educator examples. So let's start with Sandra. Now she was able to retire early because she'd put in all of her years and started out being a teacher very early. And she has some Social Security benefits that she had from teaching over the summer. She decided that she wanted to retire early, and so she took her Social Security at age 62 to cover her basic expenses, and so she could reduce the withdrawals from her savings in her early years. It was helped her travel and do some things that she needed to do. The result was that she received $1,400 a month instead of her full $2,000 a month. Well, over 20 years, this adds up to $120,000 less in her lifetime income. But it helped reduce her financial stress early on. So that's the trade-off. Okay, reduces her financial stress early on, but in later years, she doesn't have as much to be able to draw that's coming in every month as a guaranteed paycheck. All right, what about James? Well, James is 67, and he's his full retirement age when he goes to retire. He's a high school counselor, and he says, I'm ready to go now. I can get my Social Security. It's complete. I can go on to Medicare. I can do all these great things. I'm 67, right? So what's his result? Well, James gets his full benefit of $2,000 a month. Because he also has a pension from the teacher's retirement system, he didn't need to rely on Social Security too early. He kept his goals flexible. And he was able to take out now less from his investments over time, because more of his expenses, daily expenses, were met between his pension and his Social Security. What about Darlene? She's my third example, and she's 70, and she just loved teaching, so she did not want to retire. But she decided she would go ahead and claim and retire at 70 years old. She knew it wasn't going to grow anymore anyway, right? Well, her monthly benefit rose to $2,480 because she waited. If she lives to age 85, she'll receive over $75,000 more in lifetime benefits compared to claiming at 62. Now, these are examples of what people have done and what they could do and what you could do and what the ramifications of that is, both pro and con. Gives you something to think about. So, as you I understand by now, there is no one-size-fits-all answer. It's going to depend on you and your situation. There's lots of factors that go into it. One of them being the dollar amount and knowing what those dollar amounts are. You can click the link in the show notes, and it will link you to a quick estimator calculator that I have made up that you can put in your age, and it'll show you and your salary, and it'll show you what it could be. If you want your detailed report, of course, go to ssa.gov, go to your Social Security account and see what all of your earnings are that are there. I went over that last week. That gives you a good idea of what the dollar amount is. And you can plug that dollar amount in with your pension and see what it's coming up to be for your income that's guaranteed coming in. And I believe guaranteed income should be for the things that you have to have, like your mortgage and your utilities and your groceries. We call it the MUG, M-U-G, expenses, because you can't get by without any of them. And you want the checks in the beginning of the month to hit so that you know that you got peace of mind that that's covered. Then you look at your investments that you've got through your 403Bs, your 457s, your Roths, your other investment accounts that you have. And that's where you're going to look at, how do I strategically draw from this to help with my taxes and to meet expenses, and so that it will last. How much can I take from this so that it will last for the rest of my life? Second thing to look at, and this is really the one that a lot of times comes in, and it's not always a happy conversation, but think about your health, think about your family history. If you've got longevity in your family, like a grandmother that lived till 94 and other grandparents that are well into their 80s, you're probably going to have a long life on your side. Having a long life on your side means you want a bigger benefit for the rest of your life. So that's what you want to kind of be thinking. If you're, on the other side, that you just aren't doing well now, and, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted all the time. I just know I've already got things going on. I've got a history of things in my family. Well, then, maybe 62 makes sense. Or, full retirement age would be nice. But, maybe it all makes sense based on your situation and what your family situation and your health situation is. So you think about the money, think about your family and your health situation. And then the third thing is, and this I mentioned already earlier, so I won't go onto it now, but if you are married, if the one who's got the higher benefit can wait the longest, then you're both better off for the rest of your lives, especially if one of you lives to a long time and you have that survivor benefit. So you do want to always coordinate, in the household, of course, what Social Security benefits everybody's getting, what your pension is, if your spouse has some kind of a pension, if there's something else going on that they may have, and what other accounts you have, other investments that you have, to be able to make your retirement years, ones that you look forward to and great years. You can kind of say you're thinking of like you're planning a field trip, right? You don't just go out the door one day and leave. I remember all the things I made, the lists that I made, and making sure that everybody had their list. The students all had their list to go home to their parents so they knew what they needed to bring, how they were to behave. I remember going over the rules with them beforehand, what my expectations were for them when we went on this trip, debriefing afterwards when we came back and seeing what everybody thought. So it's sort of like that. You've got to have that right transportation. You've got to have the right budget, that right list. The right timing goes right into it. You're not just looking for the fastest bus out of the lot and, just going there and, whoo, look, here we are. And then now we're going to come home and we don't even know what we're going to do once we're there, right? So I hope that helps put that kind of in a picture to help you think of those things that go into your decision so that you make a decision that's best for you. For this week, Rookie is peacefully enjoying himself in the forest on a bench, just taking a little snooze. And he's thinking about this. Eleanor Roosevelt's quote of the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Delaying Social Security isn't just about numbers. It's about believing in your future and designing a retirement that aligns with your long-term dreams. You've poured into others. And now it's time to pour into yourself with intention. Well, thanks for being with me today. Let's recap real quickly just the hot topics that we covered on Social Security. 1, early isn't always better. 2, waiting can bring more income, only if it fits your life, but it is income for the rest of your life. And the right answer depends on you, your timeline, your goals, your peace of mind. If you'd like to run the numbers on your own timing options and see which one would be the best to maximize your Social Security benefits, you can schedule a consultation with me for 15 minutes and we can look at it, use my calendar link. Or you can use the Social Security calculator link that I mentioned in the earlier with the link in the show notes or in the comments below the LinkedIn. And there I did make up a PDF just for educators and Social Security timing. So don't forget to look. You can click on that link and view that just by clicking on it. There's no registration or anything involved in that. I just wanted to go ahead and give you a short couple page brochure for you to be able to handle, for you to be able to look at. All right. So remember, your retirement journey is a personal one, and you deserve to make it with confidence. Have a great week, everyone.